Hello once again everyone and welcome to the Sanctuary. I'm your host Kruznikx. Once again we are playing Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn as a bit of a trip down memory lane. Quick on the stipulations. As always, New Game Plus on Chris Valentine. I'm playing it. Meteor's job from the promotional trailer for A Realm Reborn. I'm playing as that. All of my instances are either duty, support, or solo. And last but not least, I am wearing quest or patch item level appropriate gear. I only have to say that a few more times, so I apologize if I sound like a broken record at the start of every single episode. But anyway, where we left off, we had just encountered Midgard-Zormr, we had lost our Heidelin's protection, and nobody else knows except for me, Alphino, and Y'shtola. I mean, Alphino, me, and Minfilia. Forgot her name. Been a while. Anywhoozy. But we've got bigger fish to fry, so we're going to move on because we've got a lot to do tonight. So we're going to do Ether on Demand. Let's get right to it. Now I forget. I believe Moenbryda has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there's been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray, inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the Solar, shall we? Into the Solar we go.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will...
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Moenbryda.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Moenbryda makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Ascians will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alphino. we could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thancred and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Y'shtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moenbryda. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white aurosite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
Alright, where to? Outside the Solar. Now for now, would seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The Fourth have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at our headquarters in Uldar. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. The duties take you to northern Thailand, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Philomene travels to Uldar. We shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. How extraordinary that my little Lassilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. Colleague with influential connections. But I fear that Uldar has become a place of danger, even for one so familiar with its streets. Woe betide the blogger that gives so much as glares in your direction, milady. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way, then? All right. Off to the cerulean processing plant. Where is it? Ah, there they are. Well read. Commander Lavalier sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your towns is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Emulsia. But returning to the task at hand. The Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raubon's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. Guardians could begin marching on us at any time. Pray, speak with Lieutenant Edelstein to finalize our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt about it will be welcome tidings. Oh, we don't have any more cutscenes, huh? Captain Valentine! I soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Though we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, I fear more pressing matters require our attention. Civilian draughtsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices. Devices of Imperial origin, no less. By my order, the Flame Station here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we are unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. Meantime, scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial Army. But once again ask for your aid. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garlean garrison. It would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squad you know what? Before we continue with these lines, let's fast forward a little bit. We had to search for suspicious items around the cerulean processing plant way back in the day, and I'm gonna fast forward through a fair bit because but yeah, it was pretty much looking for explosives, and it was a pain in the ass to find them all. But anyway, let's continue with our game. Let's continue with everything. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squad seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take the field to meet this assault head-on. I have appraised your fellow scions of the situation. I'm heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray, report to Lieutenant Alian. Lend your much welcome strength to the counter-offensive. There's Alian. Glad to have you with us, Chris. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force of from Castrum Meridianum. The main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Elbert! Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. Such mighty heroes at its disposal, the force should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The third was getting restless holed up in Uldar, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add to their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage with the enemy beyond the walls. Before we continue, I do want to say a special hello to Ryan Green 4141. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the Sanctuary. All right, where was I? Oh yeah. Aye. Would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. Shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scion shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column. Go with the Third then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west, prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yu Hase. The scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. All right. What vehicle are we getting? Regalia Type G. Oh, what the? The fuck? Oh my, dude! I shall address that later. Alright. Pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around. Victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads. Better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground. Make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. Seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. Just run right past me. They always do that. Oh my god. Here's one. Those are those down. Ah, the Phoenix Mount. Seem grim, Scion. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't be making it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another one of those Magitech horrors. It's time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the one moment. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the Fourth and let Lieutenant Alion know the West is now clear. I'd appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. Okay, so I'm the one playing on the top. Well, actually, both are me playing. The bottom, this is a little bit of a trip down memory lane. So what I'm doing, I'm comparing 10 years worth of footage to God only knows how long. So the video, the screen below is my old footage from way back when I started streaming this back in Heaven's Ward, even though I was playing since 2.0 beta, but my supplies were limited back then. And the top is just me playing now. Anyway, back to Edelstein. Captain Valentine, what news of the Gaulians? The raiding parties are no more then. Excellent. Yamagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Okay, let's continue. You must be anxious for word from your fellows. Lieutenant Alian has reported a sound victory over the main column. It informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duty. All but one, that is. Burgadine lady with the large axe. It appears she has chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Danaland is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. Certainly feel better about things if you could check in on her before you continue on your way. Alright. There's Moenbryda. Definitely. I'll be doing Dawn Trail as well myself in a little while, but I want to finish up all this first. Anyway, talking to Moenbryda.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe.
Nice.
I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me. An axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
He senses me. A useful talent.
Anasian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth. Meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales.
No, your name is Douche Nozzle.
And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger. Oh.
do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
Oh dear.
What did that bastard want with us? Nobrialis, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
On the way. Just like Mrs. Doubtfire. Help is on the way, dear! Get in. You're here. Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the Solar, isn't it? Quickly now!
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moenbryda!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed?
The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
No screaming or anything like that. I forgot.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
You don't have to tell me twice. We are going in full-on solo. Chrysalis is now accessible. We're just gonna hop it, cause there we go. All right, let's see how quick we can do this. That's just plain creepy. All right, let's do this. Even though I don't need it. Ooh, caught it just in the neck. Almost. Okay, good enough. That takes care of the shadow spray. Alright, time to pop on. Into the pole. Look at all that boost. There we go. And we did it. And there goes Minfilia. Works for me. All right, let's get out of here. Four minutes and 44 seconds. Not bad.
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come?
You ever shut up?
Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What trickery is this? No. No! Cannot! No!
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free! Concentrate! Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light.
Here we go.
Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me! I shall make you pay for your insolence!
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Moenbryda, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
Master Louis-Soir, I understand now. The choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger. You damned old coot.
Moenbryda, no! You mustn't!
Maybe not. Gonna do it anyway.
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
And good night.
Moenbryda. She's gone.
Yeah, so much for being immortal, right, Fire X? But...
You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead. This device is a legacy of Moenbryda's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moenbryda?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Urianger know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moenbryda hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Sharlayan motherland, Moenbryda and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louisoix. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hitherto the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Sharlayan behind, Master Louisoix gave no word to signal his intent to Moenbryda. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moenbryda discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moenbryda truly come to understand Master Louisoix's...
I keep skipping shit.
The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moenbryda, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moenbryda gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moenbryda in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require.
I'm slowly but surely, like, losing track. Ilya? Never have I seen Urianger so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We will gather in the Sharlayan Manor to celebrate Moenbryda's life and mourn her passing. As Moenbryda was a native of Sharlayan, I feel it is only fitting that we gather before the Mark of the Scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? It is a monument found at Rathfrost, and it is sacred to Thaliak, guardian deity of the City of Learning. There shall we pray for our dear friend's soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. I'm just gonna teleport to Revenant's Toll because I don't feel like going through two porting sequences. We're just gonna fast forward a little bit. Here we go. Alright, let's expedite Bayon's little trip here.
Forgive me, Moenbryda. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
Alright, back to the Rising Stones. Though we have said our farewells, the pall of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me. As antecedent, 'tis my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to lean upon. Yet I also believe the grief we feel is now precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree, Chris? It's as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Louisoix, Moenbryda, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spear and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need remind you of this, of course. It is for my own benefit that I repeat these words. A reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again, Chris. There is no other to whom I would display such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of you, of your steadfast presence in the days to come. Victory won, comrade lost. Honor the fallen, living forge ever on, towards the light day. And that concludes the first half of 2.5. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with more. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links. See you in a bit.